share with you real quick how I became a Social Security expert. It wasn't something when I was 9 or 10 years old, somebody asked me, hey, Brian, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a Social Security expert. No. I didn't major in Social Security in college. But what happened was, my last stint in corporate America, I used to travel all over the country training financial advisors like yourself. This is 2007, 2008 on retirement income planning. That was becoming very big at that time because the baby boomers were starting to retire. We had this really cool piece of software. And one of the first pieces of information you put into it was your Social Security income. But I quickly realized that people were having a retirement income plan done. They hadn't retired yet, so they hadn't claimed their Social Security. So I looked at it and I quickly realized if you help them make a better decision, it has an incredible positive impact on that retirement income plan. Namely, helping their assets and savings last a lot longer in retirement. So at the time, I didn't know anything about Social Security. So I decided, hey, I better educate myself. And from the moment I did, I was blown away. I had no idea Social Security worked the way it did, allowed people to do the things it allows them to do, had all these great features and benefits. And I also realized that hardly anybody knows this stuff, because at the time I'd go to all these big national sales meetings, conferences, all these outside speakers talking about all this different stuff, and nobody talked about Social Security. So I decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to educate people about what a great program this is. I'm going to write a book. Now, writing a book wasn't on my bucket list of things to do. In fact, the book I wrote, I didn't enjoy writing it, and I'm not going to write another one. I thought it would take me 6 months. It took me 5 years to write the book. Now, I didn't know if it was any good. I thought it was, but I'm biased because I wrote the book. But I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that my book won the International Book Award as the best business personal finance book that year. Oh, yeah. There were over 1,000 entries from 15 different countries, and my book beat them all. Not only that, it also won the Eric Hoffer Award as one of the best business personal finance books that year. So, I am a multiple award-winning author. My book is a multiple award-winning book, and I'm not even trying to sell it to you. Because if you want a free copy of my multiple award-winning book, just let Brian Nugent know, or if Jeff Bryan is your wholesaler, and make sure you get a free copy of it. And you know what? I'll even sign it for you. But I got to warn you, my book on Amazon retails for $20. Somebody recently told me that, hey, Brian, signed copies of your book on eBay are going for 49 cents. So maybe you don't want me to sign it, all right? Let them know that too. Now, I'm going to share with you some stuff about Social Security I know you've never seen or heard before, and one of these things is going to blow you away. Because I've made this presentation to well over 100,000 people, probably 75 to 80,000 are financial advisors. Some of them, there may be some in this audience, knew a lot about Social Security, but they always make a point to come up to me afterward and say, Brian, where'd you get your stuff? I've done a lot of research. I've been to the Social Security website. I've read books. I've been to other presentations by Social Security experts, and nobody talks about the stuff you talk about, and some of it is really amazing. Why doesn't everybody talk about it? I go, I don't know. But now you know. Be sure you go and tell your clients, because I'm going to share with you 4 or 5 things that I think everybody should know before they claim their benefits. So let's get into this. All right, when I was doing my retirement income planning training, one of the things I realized is that this is going to be one of your clients' most important retirement decisions. So you want to make sure they make the right decision to get every dollar of benefit that they're entitled to. And you know, a very pleasant surprise I had early on when I was working with financial advisors, it turns out that wealthy people with a lot of money, millions of dollars, they're the ones that are most interested in making a good Social Security claiming decision. Now, over the last 15 years, I've done over 2,600 meetings with financial advisors and their clients, one-on-one. It's usually a Zoom meeting. I'm up in Saratoga Springs, and they're down here in Florida or California or Texas. You know, I've done over 2,600 of those meetings. And I don't know how much money the clients have. You know, I help the client make the best Social Security claiming decision. We get done with the Zoom meeting, the phone rings, it's the financial advisor, and he or she says, hey, Brian, thanks. That's one of my best clients. They got $10 million with me. They got $15 million with me. They got $20 million with me. I did one 3 years ago, a married couple in Columbus, Ohio. I get done, advisor calls me up, he goes, Brian, that by far is my best client. They have $100 million invested with me. I go, what? Why do they even care? I made them $500 more a month, $6,000 for the year. Is that going to make a difference in their life? They got $100 million. He's like, no, you don't understand. This is what they've done. They made good money decisions all their life, and they want to do it with Social Security. He says, Brian, I can't tell you. This guy's been bugging me for 9 months. He's sending me articles from the internet, these Excel spreadsheets. He's asking me all these questions that I can't answer. And you did it in 20 minutes, so thank you. So people that have money, a lot of money, your clients are the ones most interested in making a good Social Security claiming decision. And if they ask you about Social Security, when they should claim, or all these different questions, and you can't answer them, now you can, because you're going to have access to me, a Social Security expert, okay? We'll do all the work for you through Touchstone. So this is really going to be one of their most important decisions. Now, I do a lot of client seminars too, and I say, look, when I get done, you might think that all Brian wants us to do is wait till age 70 to claim their benefits. No, that's not it. I found that a lot of people, before talking with me, they're going to probably make a poor decision and leave money on the table in terms of lost benefits. Don't want that to happen. So I tell clients and financial advisors, I'm going to share with you 4 or 5 things everybody should know about Social Security before they claim their benefits. And if after they get done, I get done sharing those things with them, if they decide to claim at 62 or 63, that's fine. That's their personal decision, but it won't be an uninformed decision. So you and your clients are probably aware that they can claim their benefits as early as possible at age 62. And if they do that, they're going to lock into the smallest monthly benefit every month for the rest of their lives. Now, there's math geniuses out there that crunch the numbers and put out white papers about what's the best age to claim. The majority of them will say claiming at 62 may not be the best decision to make. Or they can claim as late as age 70 and lock into the biggest monthly benefit every month for the rest of their life. Those same math geniuses will tell you that might be a better decision, or they can claim at any age in between 62 or 70. But here's the bottom line. For every year, that second bullet point, they delay claiming past age 62, their benefit is guaranteed to increase by 6 to 8% per year. I call that a risk-free guaranteed rate of return. In this still relatively low interest rate environment, where are you going to find a risk-free guaranteed rate of return of 6 to 8% per year? Nowhere that I know of. I tell people this is one of the best deals around. And you know what? It gets even better. Because as you're probably aware, and I'm sure a lot of your clients are, Social Security has one of the best inflation hedges around. It's called the Cost of Living Adjustment Feature, or COLA for short. Now, a lot of people think if they delay past age 62, they're not going to benefit from the COLA increases. Yes, they are. For every year they delay past that, they get the 6 to 8% minimum guaranteed increase, and they get any COLA increases on top of it. Let me give you a real quick example. Let's say you had a client that turned 62 in December of 2021, and they say to you, you know what, I really like my job. I'm going to work for 1 more year from age 62 to age 63. Just by delaying that 1 year, they got a minimum guaranteed increase of 7.15%. Now, the COLA increase in 2022 was 5.9%. Basically, you kind of add those together. They increased their benefit by over 13%, and they locked into it for the rest of their life. Now, let's say a year goes by, and now it's December of 2022, and they say, hey, you know what? I still really like my job. I'm going to work for 1 more year and delay claiming my Social Security from age 63 to age 64. By doing that, they got another minimum guaranteed increase of 6.67%. The COLA increase in 2023 was 8.7%. You add those together, they increase their benefit by another 15+%. So just by delaying 2 years, with a little bit of compounding, they increased their benefit by over 30%, and they locked into it for the rest of their life. I tell people it's one of the best deals around. It really is. And you know, when some people come up to me afterwards, clients, and they say, Brian, I can't wait till age 70. I go, you don't have to. If you can just delay for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, your benefit is going to be so much bigger compared to claiming it at age 62. It's one of the best deals around. And if you explain it to your clients that way, they may consider delaying a couple more years to take advantage of the 6 to 8% and any COLA increases on top of it. All right, this is just a bar chart, shows you monthly benefit amounts for every month that they delay. We haven't adjusted it for inflation. But let me share with you some other reasons why your clients might want to consider delaying. One is longevity. I'm going to share with you the complete definition of life expectancy. I'm going to surprise you with it, and it's good news. Maximize the dollar benefit of COLA. How your clients can get the biggest pay raise, the biggest increase in their benefit every year for the rest of their lives. Most people lock in, or a lot of people lock into the smallest pay raise. I'm going to show you how to change that. Maximize the survivor benefit. Every married couple and divorced spouses that are qualified for Social Security should know how it works, especially if you're a married woman or a divorced woman. And I'll share with you why in a minute. And then, hopefully I'll have enough time, I'll show you how your clients making a better Social Security claiming decision can make their assets and savings last a lot longer in retirement. Hopefully as long as they live, if not longer, so they can leave money to their kids, grandkids, or favorite charity. All right, let's look at longevity. You know, this is a term we've heard all our lives. So of your clients think they know what it means. I can almost guarantee you they don't, or they don't know the complete definition. You know, life expectancy is simply a statistical term. And what it means is that if we look at men and women in this country, we put them together, they have a life expectancy of age 78. I think that most people think because that's life expectancy that most people die by age 78. That's not it. It's a statistical term. And what it means is that, yeah, 50% of people will die before age 78, but 50% of people live up to and beyond age 78. I tell financial advisors and their clients all over the country, if your client has a 50% probability of living up to and beyond age 78, you should plan on that happening because that's a fairly high probability. But that's only one aspect of life expectancy. There's a second aspect to it that hardly anybody knows, and it's this. Now, you see this chart here? That's in my multiple award-winning book, okay? So don't forget to ask Brian Nugent or Jeff Bryan to get a copy of it. All right, so on the bottom axis, the horizontal axis, I have ages from 65 to 105. On the vertical axis, I have the probability of living to those ages. So you see a male, if a male lives to age 65, if you go up to the 50% probability and over, he increases his life expectancy to age 84. If the woman lives to age 65, she pushes her life expectancy out to age 86, and there's a 50% probability that at least one of them, the man or the woman, husband or wife, will live to age 90. Now, for all the guys in this room, including myself, I got some really bad news for you. If anybody's going to live to be age 90, it ain't going to be you. It's going to be all the women in this room. Women live longer than men. It isn't even close. In fact, today, currently, if you look at the number of men and women alive at age 85, there are twice as many women alive at age 85 than there are men. There are 3 times as many women alive in their 90s than there are men. And if I take you back to the 2010 census, there were 53,000 people in this country age 100 or older. 44,000 of them were women. Women live longer than men. Social Security is a bigger issue for them because they receive their benefit payments for a longer period of time than we do because they live longer than us. Now, guys, the story isn't all bad because if you live to age 65, you actually push your life expectancy out into your mid-80s. But the probability, if you're married, that you will predecease your wife is extremely high. And I'll share with you an incredible statistic in a little bit. So, I'm not trying to convince anybody they're going to live to be age 90, 95, or 100. But most people underestimate their life expectancy by about 5 years. They think they're only going to live to be like age 80. If I can move that needle out into the mid-80s, I think I put them and your clients in a better position to make a better Social Security claiming decision because they're probably going to receive their benefit payment for a longer period of time because they're probably going to live longer than they think. And oh, by the way, there's all kinds of research about this longevity. People that transition into retirement with accumulated assets and savings, they live longer than anybody else. Those are your clients. All right, the cost of living adjustment feature. Look at, when I started doing my research back in 2007, and I found out our government gives this to everybody for free. I called it one of our government's greatest gifts because it is. And for most people, it's going to be the only pay raise they get in retirement. If it's the only pay raise they get, of course, they want it to be as big as possible. But there's a lot of people that lock into the smallest pay raise. Let me show you how to change that. Now, this is a very simple but powerful concept, and even your clients will understand it. So let's just look at the chart up on top. Those are monthly benefit amounts. What we're going to do, we're going to contrast if somebody claims their benefit at age 62, they go to the middle column, their monthly income on their Social Security benefit statement says if you claim at 62, we'll pay you $1,875 a month. Now, if that same person, instead of claiming at 62, were to claim at age 70, go to their statement, says, well, if you wait till 70, we're going to increase your benefit to $3,300 a month. And you see the difference there, it's circled. The difference between those two amounts is $1,425 a month. They'd make $1,425 more a month if they waited till age 70 as opposed to claiming at age 62. Now, let's go to the far right. I take them 20 years out into the future. I assumed an annual COLA increase of 3%. Why 3%? Because that's a 75-year average for inflation, okay? The 1875 a month 20 years later with an annual COLA increase of 3% grows to 3386. The $3,300 a month 20 years later grows to $5,959, and now the difference has grown to $2,573 a month. Look at everybody gets the same COLA percentage increase. It doesn't matter when you claim your benefits, but if you apply that same percentage to a bigger benefit, it results in bigger dollar increases every year for the rest of their lives. If I were to take that column out 25 or 30 years, because some people do live that long in retirement, especially women, that difference is going to go bigger and bigger. How do your clients get the biggest pay raise? Delay claiming their benefit as long as possible so you're applying that COLA percentage to the biggest benefit. How do they get the smallest pay raise? Claim as early as possible at age 62 so you're applying that COLA percentage to the smallest benefit possible. All right, I usually take about 50 minutes to do this thing, so I'm talking really fast, okay? And every now and then I might have to stop and take a deep breath, which I'm doing right now. But this next slide is going to be worth everybody hanging out. I know I'm the last one here and hanging out for this presentation. This is the one that always blows people away. And for the life of me, I don't know why every Social Security expert doesn't talk about this next slide. Okay, so when I was having my multiple award-winning book published just before, I had some really smart math people read it, check the math. And a couple of them came back and said, hey, Brian, we understand your concept about applying the same COLA percentage to a bigger benefit, bigger dollar increases, but you have a major, major flaw in that analysis. I said, I do. What is it? They went up to that chart again. They said, look, you have that person claim at age 62. Then on the far right, you take them out 20 years into the future. Brian, if you had 20 years to age 62, that brings you to age 82. Now, instead of them claiming at 62, you're contrasting it with them waiting till age 70, but you take them out 20 years in the future too. You had 20 to age 70, that's age 90. Brian, you're not comparing apples to apples. And if you did, see that 59 at age 70, 20 years later, you'd have to look at what that amount would be at age 82, not age 90. It's going to be smaller than that. The difference is going to be smaller, and you're going to make the case stronger for claiming early. Now, on the face of it, it seems like a really valid point. But it's not a valid point because of the incredible way that Social Security credits COLA if you delay. When I first read about this on the Social Security website about 17 or 18 years ago, I was like, wait a minute, I can't be reading this, right? Nobody can do this. So I reread it 5, 6, 7 times. I also realized I am reading it correctly, and I also realized that only the federal government can do what I'm about to show you. Probably nobody else could do this and stay in business that long. All right, so what we're going to do, see that little chart up top? That's going to be representative of somebody's Social Security benefit statement. I've done a lot of short videos over the years, 3 to 5 minutes, put them up on, YouTube, whatever, you get 20, 25,000 views, who cares? I did one about 4 or 5 years ago, my most popular video by a factor of 30. 30 times more people watched it than any other one I did. And the title of it was, actually is, because it's still up on YouTube, Your Social Security benefit statements are wrong. They are. They are absolutely wrong. But they're wrong in a good way, because your actual benefit amounts and your client's benefit amounts are going to be substantially bigger than the benefit amounts that appear in their statement. Here's how it works. So we'll go up there, we'll say that's representative of one of your client's Social Security benefit statements, that little chart up top. Everything plays off of the full retirement age. We're only going to look at 3 benefit amounts. We're going to assume they had a full retirement age of 66. They go to their Social Security benefit statement and says, if you claim at 66, we'll pay you $2,500 a month. The earliest they can claim is 62. On their statement, it says, well, if you do that, we decrease your benefit to $1,875 a month. Third benefit we're going to look at, if they wait as late as possible, age 70. Well, if they do that, we're going to increase your benefit to $3,300 a month. Now we're going to go down to the bottom chart. Column A, I have the claiming ages from 62 to 70. Column B, I show you what happens if they do claim at 62. They start off at $1,875 a month, and it goes up a little bit every year because of the annual COLA increase. All right, check this out. Now, if they actually wait to age 66, they're not going to get $2,500 a month. They're going to get $2,813 a month. Why? Because if they claim at 66, Social Security is going to take that $2,500. Now, keep in mind, they're 66 years old. They're going to go back in time to when they were age 62. They're going to see what the COLA percentage increase was for that year. They're going to apply it to the $2,500. That's going to make that benefit bigger. Then they're going to take that new bigger benefit. They're going to go back in time to when they were 63. They're going to see what the COLA percentage increase was for that year. They're going to apply it to the new bigger benefit. It's going to make it even bigger. They're going to do that for 4 years in a row. So if they claim at 66, they don't get $2,500 a month. They get $2,813 a month. Why? Because they get 4 years of what I call retroactive COLA credits. Now, the story gets even better. It gets a lot better if they wait till age 70. They're not going to get $3,300 a month. They're going to get $4,180 a month. Why? Because they get 8 years of retroactive COLA credits. Ladies and gentlemen, that's absolutely the way it works. That's incredible. And nobody knows this. Actually, I've showed it to like 125,000 people, so they know it. Now you know it too. You should tell all your clients because this is good news. The longer they wait, the bigger their benefit is going to be. It's going to be a lot bigger than the benefit amount on their statement. That's good news. So I want to, let's see if I can figure out, go back real quick. I want to make a couple of real quick points that I think you'll find very relevant. So, here, when those smart math people said that far right-hand column, that 59 is their benefit at age 90, not age 82. No, that is the age 82 benefit. Because if they wait till 70, they get 8 years of retroactive COLA credits going all the way back to age 62. So I was comparing apples to apples. That 59 is their age 82 benefit, all right? Now, one more thing, and I get this question all the time about, hey, Brian, what's the break-even age, Look at, all right, I could wait till 66, I get $2,500, but I could have claimed at 62. The benefit's smaller, it's $1,875, but I would have got 4 years of income from 62 to 66, had I not waited to claim at age 66. So how long is it going to take to make that up? I've got this question hundreds of times. And I got to tell you, most of the people that ask me this question, just anecdotally, are guys. Because guys, I guess we think we're smart in math, right? So I realized that when they ask me this question, they've already done the calculation. I said, what did you get for a break-even age between 62 and 66? It's the same for everybody. It takes 12 years to age 78. And then to break even, right? And then you're better off if you waited till 66. They say, I don't think I was going to live that long, so I claimed early. All right. So then I asked them a question. I said, when you did your break-even calculation, did you use those benefit amounts on your Social Security benefit statement? Well, yeah, absolutely, Brian. I go, now you know they're too low. And you calculated a break-even age that was too high. And if you're going to make a decision based on some metric like break-even age, you should calculate it correctly. Because if you assume a rate of inflation of 1.5% or 2%, you're going to bring that break-even age down anywhere from 2 to 3 years. You assume a higher, like 3, 4, 5%, you could bring it down by 4, 5, 6 years. So if you're going to make a decision based on a break-even age, try to calculate it correctly. And everybody, the hundreds of people that asked me that question, they all calculated it wrong. Too high. All right. So that's kind of the highlight, but this is really cool too, talking about the survivor benefit. Now those 2,600 meetings I've done, probably 75 to 80% of them are from married couples. Here's what I tell every married couple at the beginning of the meeting. Whoever has the bigger benefit, that's the more important one of the two. And you should try to delay claiming that benefit as long as possible for 2 reasons. 1, you can both enjoy that bigger benefit while you're both alive. And 2, that benefit is eventually going to become the survivor benefit, or the only benefit the surviving spouse is going to receive after the first spouse dies. So whoever has the bigger benefit, the longer you delay it, you also make the survivor benefit bigger, all right? So here I have an example. Wife's full retirement age benefit is $1,900. The husband's is $2,500. Now, the only reason I made the husband's benefit bigger is because 75% of the time today, the husband has the bigger benefit. But if the wife had the bigger benefit, I would recommend that she try to delay claiming it as long as possible. Okay, so let's go to this chart. I'm going to surprise you with something. So on the far left-hand column, you see the husband's claiming age, 62, 66, and 70. Now go to the third column in from the left, wife's monthly check at age 82. Look, it's the same, $2,573 a month, irregardless of when the husband claimed. Why is that? Well, believe it or not, in this situation, I had the wife claim her benefit at age 62. Why would I do that? I just gave you all these great reasons why people should delay. Well, those math geniuses that crunch the numbers and put out white papers, they'll tell you that whoever has the smaller benefit should probably claim it early, even as early as 62. Why? Because that's the benefit you're going to receive for the shortest period of time. Because once the first spouse dies, that smaller benefit stops. You're never going to get it again, right? So if you delay claiming it, you're going to shorten that period of time even more. So claim it early, even as early as age 62. So that's what I did. And you see 20 years later, because of annual COLA increases, her check is $2,573. Now look at it, if the husband claimed at 62, his check 20 years later is $33.86 a month. You add those 2 checks together, their combined monthly Social Security income is $59.59 a month. You multiply that by 12 because that's only a monthly benefit, that's going to pay him almost $72,000 a year. Pretty good. But you see the second to the last column from the right? We assume the husband dies at age 82, the $2,573 stops. Now the wife is only going to get $3,725 a month, and her annual income drops to $44,700. When the husband was alive, their income was almost $72,000. That's a drop of almost $30,000 a year. That's significant. If he had waited till 66, the one check survivor benefit, $45.15, would pay her $54,180. That's better. But best yet, If he had waited till age 70, the one survivor benefit check would have paid her $71,508 for the year. Easier to live on that than the $44,700 or the $54,180. I got one more cool chart about this, and then I'm going to give you an incredible statistic from the Social Security website. So this is the same chart from the last slide. I just took out the age 66 line where the husband claims at age 66. So all we're going to do is compare if there's the husband and wife both claim at 62, that top line, to if only the husband who has the bigger benefit, if he waits till age 70 to claim. So you see, 20 years later, if they both claim at 62, the husband gets $33.86, the wife gets $25.73. You add those together, the combined total of those two checks is $5,959 a month. Now, if just the husband had waited till age 70, that one, go to column E, the one survivor benefit check, $59.59, is as big as those two checks combined had they both claimed at age 62. That's how you leave a survivor benefit that is as big as two checks in one, greatly reducing the probability that their surviving spouse, which is overwhelmingly the wife, is going to struggle financially after the first spouse or the husband dies. Now, I want to leave you with an incredible statistic from the Social Security website. Again, when I first read this, I was like, man, that can't be right. That just seems too incredible. So Social Security sends out 70 million benefit checks every month, okay? Of those 70 million, 4 to 5 million of them are survivor benefit checks. And they'll tell you on their website, of the 4 to 5 million survivor benefit checks they send out every month, 95% of them are sent to women. 95%. That's incredible. That backs up my claim that women overwhelmingly outlive men, that Social Security is a bigger issue for them because they're going to collect their benefit payments for a longer period of time. And every one of your married clients and divorced spouses that are qualified to get a survivor benefit should know how it works and how to make it as big. They don't have to wait till age 70, but 67, 68, because at some point in their life, that's going to play a critically important role in her maintaining her quality of life and standard of living after her husband or ex-husband dies, because the probability that the husband will predecease her is incredibly high. All right. Now, let me do this real quick, take you back to my retirement income planning days. You see here, we got the same benefit amounts for the husband and wife, $1,900 for her, full retirement age, and the husband's $2,500. They have an annual income need at age 70 of $100,000. If I'm $100,000 a year to pay all the bills and enjoy their retirement. If I'm doing client seminars, I say, don't get caught up on that income. If your income need is $50, $60, $70, $80, $125, $150,000, it still works, okay? So the middle column there, claim as early as possible. We're going to compare if they both claim at age 62 to a strategy I like called claim early, claim late. That's whoever has the smaller benefit, claim it early at 62. Whoever has the bigger benefit, wait till 70, right? So at age 70, they have an income need of $100,000. Now, if they both claimed at 62, with a little bit of COLA increases, Social Security is going to pay them $50,160 for the year. It's pretty good. But if they use my claim early, claim late, we're going to increase it to $71,820. Now, I'm sure you guys and girls do a lot of retirement income planning. You know the biggest challenge, the biggest risk in retirement is longevity risk, the risk of living too long. I can't tell you how many married couples I meet with, and they think the biggest risk is dying young. And I say, look, from an economic and financial standpoint, dying young isn't the problem. Dying young solves all the problems, right? Because when you're dead, you stop spending money. It's living a long life and maintaining your quality of life and standard of living. Longevity risk is the biggest risk. Can you get some longevity insurance for your clients? Yes, you can. You know what the best kind is? Guaranteed lifetime income. That's exactly what their Social Security income is. I tell financial advisors and their clients all over the country, look, you can outlive your assets and savings, but you cannot outlive your Social Security income. You're going to get it to the day you die. And you should take a lot of comfort in that, and they do. So by helping them make a better Social Security claiming decision, we got them about 50% more longevity insurance, reducing the biggest risk, longevity risk. One of the other biggest risks is withdrawal rate risk. Financial advisors tell me all the time that, Brian, I got a client, retires with $2 million. They think they're a millionaire. Well, yeah, they are a millionaire. They got $2 million, but they think it's going to last forever. They buy vacation homes in Florida, Arizona. They buy homes for their kids. They take incredible vacations. They buy unbelievable cars. And 6 or 7 years later, they're down to $600,000 or $700,000. And they say to the financial advisor, Richard, what did you do to me? You say, I haven't done anything. The market's been great for the last 10 years, right? You've just been spending too much money. So they need $100,000. If they claim as early as possible at 70, Social Security is going to pay them 50. That means they have to withdraw $49,840 from their accumulated assets and savings to meet their income need of $100,000. If they use my strategy, claim early, claim late, we're going to increase their income to almost $72,000. That means they only have to withdraw $28,000 a year to meet their income need. Look, and I'm not a math, I'll take questions at the end. I'm not a math major, but you don't have to be to realize if you're only withdrawing $28,000 a year as opposed to 50, the assets with the claim early, claim late strategy are going to last a lot longer. Now, one of the big risks is inflation. I told you Social Security has the best inflation edge around COLA. It does. So they need 100, Social Security provides 50. 50% of their income need is automatically going to adjust to inflation. But with the claim early, claim late, we increase their Social Security income to almost $72,000. That means almost 72% of their income need is automatically going to adjust to inflation. We've greatly reduced inflation risk too, just by helping them make a better Social Security claiming decision. So just by helping them make a better Social Security claiming decision, we greatly reduce longevity risk, the biggest risk in retirement, withdrawal rate risk, and inflation risk. It's all good. And I don't know if you guys probably have a retirement income piece of software. All you have to do is fool around with the Social Security income. Increase it, I don't know, by 25, 30, 35, 40%. Watch what happens to the probability of those assets being around 25 or 30 years later. It skyrockets. And all you did was increase their Social Security income. All right, I got just a couple more slides and then I'm done. Then I don't know if you guys, do you take questions? I mean, you sound like you had a question. Let me do this because this is a really cool thing and then I'm done. And if you have a question, I'll take it. So look, I got to tell you about this spousal benefit. This is one of the coolest things. Social Security does so many cool things. You know, and I think they give people every opportunity to maximize their Social Security benefits, and a lot of people don't do it because they're not aware of all these things. This spousal benefit is really incredible. One spouse is entitled to 50% of the other spouse's work history benefit at full retirement age. It's better if I just show you how it works. Simple example. Chris will say as the husband, his benefit is $2,000, his full retirement age benefit. Lee's benefit, she didn't have to work that much. It's only $500 a month. So they're both the same age. They have a full retirement age of 66. They say we're going to work till 66, retire and claim Social Security. Chris does that. He gets his $2,000. Lee does it. She gets $1,000 a month because she's qualified for the spousal benefit. If she wasn't, she'd only get $500 a month. But because she is, she doubles her income to $1,000 a month. Now that's pretty cool. But here's something else that hardly anybody knows. Let's say I'm talking to Chris and I say, hey, Chris, try to wait to age 66, at least your full retirement age. He says, Brian. I've worked for 40, 45 years. I've paid all those FICA taxes, the Social Security taxes, paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not taking a chance that I delay till 66. What if I die at 64 and I never got a chance to claim and get nothing? I'm not taking that chance. I'm claiming as early as possible at 62. I don't care if they reduce my benefit, which they do. Instead of getting $2,000 a month, he only gets $1,500 a month. But Lee decides, hey, you know what, Chris, I still like my job. I'm going to work till 66, retire and claim Social Security, which she does. And she still gets $1,000 a month because of the spousal benefit. You would think because Chris claimed his benefit early is reduced to $1,500, 50% of that is $750. And that's the size of the spousal benefit Lee would get. But it doesn't matter when Chris claims his benefit. He could claim it early, he could claim it late. The spousal benefit is always determined by Chris's full retirement age benefit. So even though he claimed early, if she waits till her full retirement age, she still gets the full spousal benefit. So that's it. That's the last slide I got. But before I go, let me offer you guys one more freebie instead of just my multiple award-winning book, okay? I created a Social Security calculator because I realized early on, like this presentation, people come up to me, Brian, I've never seen anything like this. Then advisors, they'd call me up and go back in my office, Brian, married clients come in, there's a 3 or 4 or 5 year age difference, different benefit amounts, I still really don't know what to do. So I realized I need to give them a tool that they can use to help their clients make the best Social Security claiming decision. So I've created my Claim with Confidence Social Security calculator, and through Touchstone, Brian Nugent, Jeff Bryant, will make it available to you for free, all right? And you just need a couple pieces of information in order to run the analysis. And we'll make sure your clients get every dollar benefit they're entitled to and don't leave any money on the table in terms of lost benefits, all right? And I highly recommend that you do this. And the last thing you want to tell your clients is, Just go to Social Security. They'll tell you what to do. That is really, really bad advice because it sounds like some people have already experienced this, but they give out incomplete and wrong advice all the time. I've experienced it anecdotally, but let me give you a concrete piece of information backing up my claim that that's not a good strategy. Because about 5 years ago, Social Security published the results of an internal audit they did on their own customer service employees. Now keep in mind, 70 million people get a benefit check every month. They looked at a sample size of only 13,000 cases. And what they concluded, in over 11,000 of those 13,000 cases, their customer service employees gave out incomplete or wrong information, and it cost those 11,000 people a cumulative total of $142 million in lost benefits. $142 million. That's bad enough. They reported these results 5 years ago. They haven't done anything to correct their mistake. They haven't done anything to make these people whole. And those 11,000 people that were shortchanged, they don't even know it. So look, even if your clients say, my situation is pretty straightforward, have an analysis done. They might not be aware of something, right? We'll make sure they're aware of every dollar of benefit they're entitled to, all their options. There's a reason why I think I'm actually up to 2,700 meetings with advisors and their clients. You know, sometimes I've done over the years, there's this one gentleman, I've done like 35 meetings with him and his clients. And I say, hey, Bill, you know, you sat through 35 of these. Can't you do it yourself? He's like, no, man, it's so easy when I just let you do it. I don't have to do any work. So, you know, we could set these up. You won't have to do any work. You don't have to be a Social Security expert because you have access to one, me. And I love doing it. I love helping clients out, and I love helping you out. So that's all I got. I don't know, can we take some questions?